need a role for him, because if he's not involved in any part of the specialty teams, then this is what you're going to get. You're going to get between, 8 to 12 minutes, maybe. His ice time last night wasn't even his lowest ice time of the season. Like, he's had, we're approaching closer to like double-digit games where he's had under 10 minutes of ice time.
I don't know if you guys know, but Trent Frederic is an 8-year deal.
Is that right? Right?
He's not played very well this season.
No. Was he playing last night?
I thought he had a couple of things. He had a good chance last night. Just curious, what did you guys think of Freddie on this last little trek here?
So I've written, and I think it's coming out today, the What Would You Do Wednesday. And the What Would You Do Wednesday is what would you do with these free agent wingers that not a ton is happening right now with both Frederic and Mangiapane. I looked at Mangiapane. He hasn't scored now in 16 games.
Really?
That's the longest stretch of his career if you exclude the start, where I think it took him 26 games to get his first NHL goal.
Right. Interesting.
He had a played partial year and then the start of the next. So Mangiapane, it's not really happening. 7 points in his last 27 games. And then Frederic, we know with Frederic. The thing I don't like about Frederic is that if you look at his last 8 games, there's only his hitting high is 2.
Is that right?
In the last 8. He's going between 1 hit and 2 hit. And so if Frederic's not doing that, and he's been shelled on the fourth line and played under 7 minutes last night, Mangiapane was in the 9s, I think, time on ice-wise, they need to find Frederic a role. I mean, I've been...
he got hit in the face with a puck at practice today and left. That happened 10 minutes ago.
Oh.
That's not good.
So that's something to work into the conversation.
Okay.
I also did the math. We are 4.6% of the way through his contract.
4.6.
4.6.
Okay.
That doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Like the hits, I like that you bring that up.
Yeah.
I thought a guy like that would watch Connor Clattenburg come in and be like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Like, this guy's eating my lunch.
Yeah.
They need more of that. And like Liam says the line all the time, and I love it. Easiest market in the league to become a fan favorite in. Hit, fight, go to the net, start scrums, and everyone will be like, look at what an impact he made. And he just doesn't do it.
Yeah. Vasily Podkolzin took like 20 games to get a goal last season. And the whole time we're like, this is a top 6 winger.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The Oilers fans they'll forgive if you're doing these other things, because we know at the end of the day where the goal scoring needs to come from, but you do need to contribute. And that's where I'm just left to wonder. And that's why I've said it a couple times. They need to give Frederic a role. The role I would give him to try to have him own something is the penalty kill. He has killed penalties in the past, not super consistently, but his best season, that 23-24 season where he scored 18 goals, was his most PK time he's ever spent, which is about 50 total minutes that he spent killing penalties. I know Knobloch, there's been a lot of people that are in the rotation of penalty kills. We've seen it, over the years. I know Henrik and Savoy have taken it up, and then they want McDavid out there at times. But Frederic's going to be an Oiler for a long time.
Yeah.
So how do you make him a useful player where he's pulling the rope as well, where he feels like he can own something on the team, so that it's not just left to wonder, well, he's playing 7 minutes a night on the fourth line?
If they gave him a 3-year deal, we would be sitting here roasting it right now.
And that's why,
yeah.
It's crazy.
This is going to come across poorly the way I said it, but I have to say it the way it is.
Yeah.
You got to call it like you see it, Liam.
It doesn't matter right now, because you have so much time, and I just don't see a scenario where this is Frederic for 8 years. And I like,
it'd be very hard for him to be this bad.
It would be very hard. And do I think that if this gets to just year 3, for example,
right,
and it has been this bad for 3 years, he's not an Oiler. They're getting rid of him.
But how is he not an Oiler?
They figured out a way to get rid of Miles Wood. And I think there's scenarios around the league where
Robida Island.
Exactly. And the thing is, too, like, that contract isn't going to be that heavy for a team to absorb in a couple of years. Not right now, there's no money in the league right now. But next year, we're talking about guys like Alex Tuch, who, again, is a very good player, getting paid $10 million.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy to think of. And you can consider Frederic's contract crazy too. It's definitely not ideal, but I just think there's still upside with this guy. We've not even seen good.
No.
And that's where I'm at. Is like, we haven't even seen him at half of his best.
He's played maybe 2 good games as an Edmonton Oiler, including last year's playoffs.
Can I give you, I think someone in the chat made a really, really interesting point, so I went and checked it. He's taken some time to come around, and the comparison they used was, look at Warren Fogle when he got here. I just looked. Warren Fogle's first year as an Oiler, coming off that trade for Ethan Bear, it took him, in his first 27 games, he only scored twice. And then he started to bump a little bit. Then he ended that first season with 12 goals, I think, in the full year. But, like, we weren't coming out of that first year being like, oh, man, Warren Fogle. Like, it was like, Jesus, what did they do acquiring Warren Fogle? Like, what did he do the next season? 13 and 67. Then he popped off at a 20-goal a year and then got paid by LA.
And then in the third year, when he went to go leave, we were like, oh, what do you do with him? Like, he's doing well. Do you keep him? He played poorly in the playoffs, and that kind of what ended up being his future was on him. But, like, by that time, it was just like, oh, what do you do? But, like,
He's blowing chunks right now. This season.
Like Rob says in the chat, he's an upside. He's like,
Rob's also just been sitting in there shitting on everyone all day.
Trent Frederick's 27.
Yeah.
He's 27. You know what I mean? Like, he's playing really bad. But this is the only time in his career he's played this bad, and he doesn't know how to get out of it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I'm at with it. I do think there's something there. By upside, I don't think he's ever going to be a top 6 winger for this team, but I think you're right. Maybe he can become a penalty killer. Just a middle 6 guy you can rely on in moments.
Well, they need a role for him, because if he's not involved in any part of the specialty teams, then this is what you're going to get. You're going to get between, 8 to 12 minutes, maybe. His ice time last night wasn't even his lowest ice time of the season. Like, he's had... We're approaching closer to like double-digit games where he's had under 10 minutes of ice time. And I think what shaded versus the Fogle analogy is just the acquisition cost, and then having seen what they saw in the postseason, wanted to make him an Oiler for life. And that's what frustrates me. That's why I've had to fight this bias, because I wasn't a super fan of this player anyway. But they've hoped him to be some type of, Walmart Kane or something like that, and he can't play in the top 6. It's like what we found out with Lucic years ago. It's like you sign him long term, you find out almost immediately can't play in the top 6.
Scored 20 goals that first year.
Yeah, he went on a heater at the end of the year and was very good in the power play. He had his ways.
So do that with Frederic. Put him on the PK, right, and let him find his ways.
What do you do is the question, and that's why I penned this in the article, is like, do you try them again to elevate in the lineup? Do you do that with Mangiapane? The question with Mangiapane is he's scoring at pretty much the same rate he did last year. That's the concern, is that this might just be...
This is who Mangiapane is.
Right. He had a 35-goal season, but he was not a 35-goal guy.
Yeah.
There's a difference. He's never scored 20 in any other season. I think he's just got to play his way through it. He needed that goal to count against the Kraken for his own,
Yeah. Well, he needed it to go in. It didn't actually go in.
Yeah, well, exactly.
But that's tough luck, too. So he is fighting a bit of that.
Yeah.
My thing with Mangiapane is, like, when he shoots the puck, it's like that Kraken play. It's like, holy shit, this guy can fire the thing. Yeah. And then he just goes like 5 games where it's like 1-0, 1-1. And he just doesn't shoot the fucking puck.
Yeah. I think sometimes when they come out, like they did against Buffalo, when they don't have the shot mentality and overpass, and then the shot they take was worse than the one they would have had before, is that's bled through at times into Mangiapane's game, where, we've seen him at times pass up great looks, because it is a little contagious when the Oilers do we're the 72 Soviets and we can pass the puck, 20 times and look for tap-ins, you know what I mean? So.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you enjoyed today's episode of Oilers Nation Every Day, make sure you hit the subscribe button here on our YouTube to not miss any of our content. We got you covered, from interviews, insight, analysis, everything you need to stay up to date on everything around the team. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a video.